Previously on Superman the Animated Series, dead. All dead. Sorry.
No,
That's not what he said, huh?
no, that's not. Well, he did, but out of context, fake news. No, that's not how that works.
Out of context. I just remember like when it goes previously on Superman Animated Series, and they show him going through all the, the floating wreckage that is Krypton, and he was just like, "It's all dead" or something like that. Damn it! Oh well, I tried. Anyways,
You did try. You didn't succeed, but you tried.
Hey, sometimes that happens. Welcome, guys, to DC Fan-imated stream. Of course, your host, Mr. Dave the Film Junkie. With me, as always, Mr. Scott McClone. How's it going?
It's going okay. Trying to. Not sure if y'all noticed, but I look a little different now. I'm messing. I have a whole new arrangement, a whole new setup going on here. We were playing around with technical stuff right before the show started, so hope y'all like it. Got some new artwork behind me, so that was nice.
Yeah, setting it up. Yeah, Scott was like redoing his where he streams normally, so I wanted to get everything right, and we're just adjusting some things, so get a little mood lighting going on. That's what I'm talking about. But we appreciate you guys for listening in or clicking in, whatever the heck. We're here. We're talking about the finale of season 2 of Superman the Animated Series. Here we are.
Can you believe that we're already at the season 2 finale? It's crazy. Like we're just approaching. We're approaching endings, and it's weird.
Approaching endings, but DC Fan-imated is not going anywhere because
much more to talk about.
But it's just sad when we're like thinking about like endings of just certain things. I mean, obviously there's still more Superman, still more Batman, but we'll of course be dipping into all the other stuff, and then of course we have a new animated series that's coming out, and I mean, cheers to the fact that they released a trailer for Crisis on Infinite Earth Part 3, and essentially that's going to be the last time we hear Kevin Conroy as Batman.
Yeah, I believe it was the last thing he ever recorded. So, I haven't watched the trailer, and I know that digitally Part 3 came out today. I'm waiting until next week when my 4K comes in, and then I'll watch it. So stay tuned to squadcastmedia.com at YouTube, where I will I'll do my review, because I already reviewed Part 1 and Part 2.
There you go.
So we'll I'm interested to see how this trilogy of films wraps up. But I'm also very interested to hear Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill back as Batman and the Joker.
Yeah.
So
there it is. So we have that at least, but yeah, we're talking about the season finale right here, Part 2, which is a Little Girl Lost, and I mean, Part 1 was it's interesting. I mean, obviously we got our introduction to Kara.
Yeah, still getting used to that, aren't you?
Yeah, I know. It's just like Kara. I just still want to call her Kara. But we got introduced to her. Obviously, she's a little girl lost.
About who's honking? What'd you do, Dave?
Dude, I mean, in the age of cell phones, why does that still have to be a thing? I don't understand that. When people like show up, just send a text, phone call. You do it right there. But people still honk. And I hate that. You're gonna have to exit out because you're pixelating.
Gotcha.
Damn it! I thought with the new setup you'd be good.
No, that's not how this works.
Of course not. StreamYard, of course. StreamYard just likes to do that. But yeah, it's just like it's a pet peeve that I have. And this happens in my apartment complex where somebody just pulls up and bap, bap, bap. It's like, and sometimes it'll scare me. And I'm like, geez, it's like just fucking, ugh, I hate that. Anyways.
Horn. That like pissed off StreamYard, apparently.
That's what it did. I mean, I'm telling you, it's like, if you're going to be coming and picking somebody up, or you're going to be dropping something off, I mean, obviously you have cell phones. You're like, hey, I'm pulling up right now. That's all you got to do. But then there's still people that do the honk thing. And man, it still happens in my apartment complex. And I'm just like, why? Anyways.
California.
And anyways. Okay. So we left off last week obviously we got the reveal of Supergirl, and she did her whole like, hey, ripping off the clothes, showing the shirt, the cape, the skirt, the gloves. It came out of nowhere. Yeah.
Yeah. That's I think I was the one who pointed that
Yeah,
out last
you
week.
did.
And I was just like, wait a
I
minute,
didn't
she
even
has
think about it.
gloves. She has gloves
Yeah.
all of a sudden. No.
Yeah, she just had gloves all of a sudden, but it's like, okay. But then, of course, we have the Furies, Granny Goodness's Furies that were gonna like go on to the attack, and that's how it left off. So obviously, that's where we start off. So we just start off, and that's what's kind of cool when it comes to like cliffhanger part twos. We just start off with action.
And this is one of those part twos in general that just is like all the action.
Dude.
Little light on story, not gonna lie.
I don't have like the long notes. I mean,
I have no
dude,
notes.
I will say this in my notes. I don't know how many times I say someone gets zapped.
Oh dear God. Oh no. What I laughed at two things right off the beginning of this episode. One, I kind of did the pop quiz with you last week about what the names of these different Furies were. It's like, let's talk about these more Kirby creations. But then I love how this episode starts off and Granny Goodness immediately gives us roll call.
Yeah.
Like, here's their names if you didn't know what they were.
I know, because we went over it last week of who they were. You want to go over the three called again?
Oh, yeah, we got Lashina, we got Stompa, and we got Mad Harriet. Yeah. So those are our three Furies, even though it's really funny because when this fight's happening and Supergirl gets knocked outside and she kind of takes out Lashina and Mad Harriet because, Lashina zaps Mad Harriet. So more zapping. And then I literally thought about how you always talked about how Batman intervenes, and all I could think about this episode was Stompa stomps.
She does do a lot of stomping in this one, that's for sure. Like I said, this is a very action heavy episode, very very action. So it's just like there's just pure madness going on, and then you got poor Jimmy who's just like, what do I do? I gotta help. And
grab a ray gun,
see a gun, and then of course you see like those two young inner gang, Amy, and I forgot what the other dude's name was. Trouble, that's right. Yeah, duh, that's right. And then of course he's just a dick, and he's just like, I'm out of here, I don't care. And then Amy stays. She feels bad. She's like, she's got some guilt, she's got some guilt, which you can appreciate a little bit.
Which I thought was also kind of interesting because Trouble gets so much more screen time and lines in part one.
Yeah.
That was interesting how, once he books it, we don't see him again for the rest of the episode.
For all we know, some falling debris landed on
him. Those guys, they're fine. They're fine.
They're always fine. But yeah, she stays and she's just like, all right, I'll try to help. And then, so then it's just like, Supergirl just taking all them on and doing a fairly good job. Did you see how she does like a little hip check to one of them?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of hip action going on with Supergirl. I mean, a little hip to the left, a little hip to the right, with that hourglass figure. And
the hips don't lie for Supergirl. That's for now.
Or the bare midriff.
Exactly. Yeah, I love it. And then we cut over to where Clark and Lois are, and they're at some conference that's talking about a comet that's going to be passing Earth, and the name of the comet is beautiful.
I know, it's Fleischer's Comet. Love it.
I immediately went. I was like typing notes, and I was like, I just literally was like, I love it. Fleischer's Comet, which of course is going to play a role later on in the episode,
which I didn't remember. I'm going to be completely honest.
Did not either. I was like, why? This is random. And then I went, oh wait, oh shit. I was like, yeah.
I remembered part two not at all. There was not a bit of part two that I actually remembered. We talked last week how there was like this chunk of part one I remembered, and this chunk of part one that I remembered. Didn't remember a damn thing about part two. It was, and I kind of see why. I'm gonna go ahead and be honest with you, Dave.
Ooh.
I was not feeling this episode.
No shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's exit out and then come back in because you're pixelating you before you start talking about more of that. Of course, damn it! Right when he was going to get back right into the nitty gritty of all that, but oh, god damn it! There we go.
Oh,
Talk to me.
back. I mean, I was just,
Yeah.
I was
All
waiting.
right. Talk to me, Goose. Why are you not feeling this episode?
Well, it's just one of those episodes where when it's the B team animation, the animation is
Yeah,
not,
definitely is that. Yeah.
it's not good in this episode. Also, it's B team animation on an action heavy episode. That's always been my Achilles heel. I always complain about this because it's always like the animation can't deliver on what the episode is trying to do. And when it's so action heavy and there's not a lot of character and not a lot of story, it's just okay. Like my mind drifts because it's like the action isn't interesting to watch, but then there's nothing else going on in the episode to like really grab my attention.
Okay, I can see what you're saying.
And I hate that because they put all the story in part one because you're getting to know Kara, you're getting her origin. Part one's more interesting to watch, even though it's the exact same animation. But once again, it's because they rely more on character and story in part one versus trying to rely on action in part two that they can't make dynamic and interesting.
I get it. I mean, I think I enjoyed. I mean, there, yeah, I could see what you're saying because yeah, part one, I'm with you. Part one is definitely more interesting. I just think like part two is it's just like the final act of this story completely. Like that's all this is. It's all just like right off. It's just they're fighting. Lois and Clark are over here watching this thing that sets up another thing, and then of course there's like a rumble that's happening, and Lois is like, "What the hell? An earthquake? What the?" And then of course Clark does his thing, sees that some shit's going down, and then he's got swinging action because we got Supergirl taking on the Furies, and then of course he's gonna intervene as he does, as Batman mainly does, but and then but then of course you get a little bit more of like, okay, we finally get the her calling herself Supergirl.
I love Superman's reaction, like super
Yeah,
girl,
yeah.
and I love the long pause. He just kind of goes, okay.
It's just like when he swoops in. I mean, yeah, it is pretty funny. And then of course, he has to also take them on a little bit, and then of course, some rubble gets thrown on Kara. I'm gonna call her Kara. I can't.
You're not having any of it, are
I'm
you?
not having it, man. You know how I'm bad with already pronouncing names. I don't need to freaking fuck that up. So, yeah. So she, that all, and then of course he's still fighting him off, and he's gonna, and he's getting just kind of effed up. He's getting zapped, and then he finally gets like the big zap, and then they open up a boom tube, granted goodness is like where, and then, oh, there we go. There's a boom tube. So they take Superman. And then, of course, Supergirl finally comes out of the rubble and going, oh, shit. He's gone. And where did he go? Of course, he went to Apokolips, and he's back in that thing again.
The thing.
Yeah.
The thing.
Whatever you want to call that. I don't know. Where he's strapped up like this that we saw in what episode was that?
Apokolips Now Part 2.
Apokolips Now, yeah, again.
But it's so funny. It just is a little reminder. I thought about this like just now when you brought it up. But I think if you go back and you watch the animated movie Justice League War, like when he's being held captive by Darkseid, he's in like
that
thing too.
Didn't even think about that. But yeah, he's back there on Apokolips, and then of course back on Earth, they're trying to figure out, hey, and then you got Amy going like, I love her line of like, she goes, he's like, I can't believe like all this stuff, and she was from another planet, and Kara's like, hey, it happens. I'm from another planet. She's, I like her sarcastic kind of like attitude, from the whole Supergirl. Because when she also does that too, there's one thing that she does. She like bats her eyes. Like,
she bats her eyes. Yeah, exactly.
She's all Supergirl, and then she kind of does like this thing, and I'm like, oh, I'm falling in love with like a little animated character right now. Aw. I think I probably did when I was, younger for sure. Maybe a little bit now. Anyways, no, but and then of course they find that they're searching and they find that little remote. I guess there's like a remote of
No, it's not.
what is it called? What is it
That's
called?
a mother box.
Mother box. Duh. Well, wait. Oh yeah, because when I think mother box, see, Zack Snyder messed me up because I'm thinking of an actual box.
No, that's
yeah, because that was in the obviously in the Apokolips. Yeah. So,
because
mother remote.
Well, that's what a mother box actually was when Kirby made the. I know,
that's right.
I get it. I always thought it was hilarious in Zack Snyder's Justice League that they were like big ass like boxes.
They were boxes.
They were big. They were big ass. I mean, I actually have my Atlantean mother box like right down here, but it's like, but no, they weren't boxes. They were just little handheld computers. Because remember, in Apokolips Part 1, Apokolips Now Part 1, like Orion just like, it's voice command. It's like Siri, mother box, project history.
Yeah,
I mean it's an iPhone with Siri. That's what a mother box is.
Yes, with apocalyptic
teleporter technology.
Exactly.
Open a boom tube. Yeah, because we've seen mother boxes the entire time, all the way back to the Inner Gang episode with Kanto. I am blanking
on what that's called too, but that was with Kanto, and that was when we first got our like taste into all that. So
right, and he's got a mother box the entire time.
Yes.
So yeah, that's what that is.
Yeah. I don't know why I totally forgot because, like I said, I'm again box. I think, anyways. So Supergirl goes in there, goes into the boom tube, goes to Apokolips. She's flying around. She sees the big, huge statue of Darkseid, and she's just like, wouldn't want to meet him in a dark alley. It's like, yeah, you wouldn't want to meet him anywhere.
You just don't want to meet him.
Yeah, you don't.
No.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
This, however, was a cool part of the episode for me because I always appreciate, because a lot of times when we go to Apokolips, we're in the castle, we're in the throne room of Darkseid. I like seeing what like the streets look like, when you're in Apokolips, because it's like there's people who live there. They're enslaved and miserable, but like the guards riding the giant hellhounds through the streets of Apokolips. I dig that.
Yeah, so you get a little bit more of like, hey, this is what this world is like.
Yes.
For obviously because Supergirl is just going to be flying around right there, and I thought that it is pretty cool. And then back on Earth when Jimmy is kind of thanking Amy for like helping, and then she mentions like, oh wait, there was this room that she kept locked, and of course they used one of those the ray guns that they had, blast open the door, and then you see, I mean, at first you go, is that a rocket that with like a ship?
It does look like it looks like one of two things. It either looks like a giant rocket or a weird ass telescope.
Yeah, you don't think of what it actually is, which I thought was kind of cool because not remembering every little bit about this episode, I was like, things are starting to come back. I'm like, wait, why would she have like a fucking ship that would go that way or something? And then it started coming back to me. I was like, oh wait, the comet and all this stuff. Well, of course we'll get to it, but at first you're going in fresh. You're thinking that's some kind of ship, or like you said, some kind of crazy telescope, or maybe it's like a laser that's going to be shooting to the moon or some shit like that. I don't know.
Wasn't it called the Doomsday Magnet?
Yes, the Doomsday Magnet. That's what they call it, which is a perfect name for it, I guess.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's such a Kirby name, because that's the kind of shit Kirby would call it. Like, I mean, he named things mother boxes and astro harnesses. Of course he would call that a Doomsday Magnet.
No, it makes sense. And then back on Apokolips, we got Supergirl getting chased by parademons, and she's she loses the freaking mother box in one of the freaking vents that has just like
the fire pits.
fire pits that just so she's like,
It
oh
was
shit.
awesome though when she totally like incinerates 3 parademons using
Yeah.
the fire pits. That was cool.
No, yeah, no, she's a badass in this episode for sure. And then of course they're bringing Granny Goodness brings Superman to Darkseid and tells him to kneel. And I love how Superman's just like, nope. But then what happens? He gets zapped.
More zapping.
More zapping.
Is it purple zapping or blue zapping? You know,
yeah,
that's now.
Just a lot of people that get, you know, so he does. And of course he falls to his knees. But then he starts, you know, mentioning like, hey, what the hell? The last time you were on Earth, you tried this and then you had an agreement with New Genesis. And now you're what? You're going to go against the agreement? What are we doing here? And then he's just like, yeah, well, not necessarily, because what if something happened to Earth that was out of my
natural
control?
disaster. I mean,
and then all of a sudden you go, oh, the comet. That's supposed to be flying.
I do love his line though. That which I cannot control, I will destroy.
Yes, I know. God, Michael Ironside. I love you. Love that voice. But yeah, so it's just like, oh wow. I mean, I think that's when it comes to this episode, that's probably like the best part of the whole story is like, I mean, if you know, we're talking about there's a lot of just action, but if we want a little bit of story, it is kind of cool that Darkseid is like, oh, I found a loophole. So when you're seeing that, like I said, this is all just like final act of the entire story. So it's just nothing but like in your face, like, hey, this is happening. But it's kind of cool that it's like, oh wow, why was Granny Goodness here? Oh, well, she was rounding up all these younglings that were working for her, and then she built this doomsday magnet. So because they knew that there was going to be a comet, the Fleischer comet, that was going to be zooming past Earth, not close, but then they can pull it into Earth and just cause massive destruction. I just thought it's a cool little story point.
I mean, I think it's
find something that I'm trying to find something for you, Scott.
You're right, because well, here's the thing, because that's creative. You know, I love villains who go, if I make it look like something else, I can't get blamed for it. Because Darkseid knows he's not going to really be able to win in a war against New Genesis.
No.
But he also wants to burn Earth to the ground.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, that's cool. It's a cool idea nested in a meh episode.
There you go. Okay. At least we got that. And so we got, and then Amy goes, well, I could just try to like stop it, but then of course if you touch it, you're gonna get zapped. I mean, again, there's so many people that just, you know, it's just like, Jesus, so much. So yeah, that didn't work. So it's like, okay, what are they gonna do to stop this thing? Now she's out for the count, and it's only Jimmy. Then we go back to Apokolips, and we got Supergirl who like shows up, try to intervene to try to get Superman. What happens to her? She gets zapped by Darkseid. so many zappings.
We really, when we tweeted out about this episode, it should have just been,
I know,
#zap.
Yeah, I know. I should have. I didn't even think about it with all the zaps. I should have just tweeted.
That's the YouTube short. That's the YouTube short for this episode. #zap.
There we go. Writing it down because I've been lagging on our YouTube shorts. I still want to do the one about the funeral of
Turpin.
Turpin with the whole Kirby thing. So expect some shorts because I'm backed up on our shorts right here anyways. But it's just like she gets zapped, and then it's just like, all right, now Superman's like, well, what are we doing here? And it's like she's gonna get messed up, and then and then where am I at here? She gets zapped, and then of course Superman.
And she gets zapped, and you were there, and you were there.
While Superman was like this, he's just like, fuck it, I could still move my legs. So he just puts a shoulder in Darkseid. And I was like, that's cool. He just said, fuck it.
That was cool because I love how Granny's like, monster.
Yeah, exactly. So then of course the Furies start like, hey, we got to like start beating up on Supergirl, and then while that's all happening, Supergirl like breaks Superman out of his whatever the hell,
Bonds.
apocalyptic fucking, whatever the hell he's got.
Well, because he's got because basically his arms are like latched, chained, cuffed behind him.
Yeah.
Plus, he's got like the weird, neck thing that's doing all of the
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All this happening. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that was going to be a GIF at some point.
There you go. Somebody gift that out, please. Please.
Please.
Do it. And then of course, I love how when Granny Goodness like gets knocked back by Kara, and then like they do that cartoon thing because she's wearing a cape. So when she hits that, the cape just goes like over her. I don't know. I chuckled from that because I'm like, that's a very like Looney Tunes cartoon kind of thing. Hit the wall and then cape just goes over your head. It's like, do you want to see the look on your face? But that's where we're gonna like jump in on the clip.
Oh, this is where the clip comes in. Okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking there's just so much that happens with this last part right here, and we got to get a little Darkseid. We got to get a little everything. And there's Granny right there with the cape over her head. It's just funny to me. I don't know.
There is no escape.
I will admit, though, it's kind of cool how his throne in this episode looks a lot like the statue that I have.
True. Oh, yeah, that's right. It does.
Okay, that was like the weakest use of Omega Beams I have ever seen in my life. I'm sorry.
But they had to get back. Superman.
Doomsday magnet. You know what this is?
Yeah, it's scrap metal.
Scrap metal. And I love this right here. Because see right there, you're going like, oh shit, she's gonna get zapped. But then she doesn't. But then Superman's like, you fucked up.
But I also love how like she's got this reaction. Like she's like,
now what I do wrong?
Now what I do?
I might have been able to use the magnet to repel the comet back into space.
Oops.
Yep.
Now I'll have to do it the hard way.
Of course, she's always got to do it the hard way. Yeah. She always got to do it the hard way. She's learning.
It's entering their atmosphere.
Atmosphere.
Nothing can stop it now, Master. Nothing.
I love how Darkseid's like, let's not talk too soon here. I mean, seriously.
Yeah, because he's all, you know what?
Stay back.
We're probably gonna
try to deflect it.
Do this.
I love how suddenly he went from Metropolis to I'm in space now. That was really fast.
Fast, Scott. He's flying fast. What a job to do. And of course, it's like, all right, he's got it. She has a shot to put on her face. No,
he doesn't. I got it. I don't got it.
Let me use those triceps a little harder. Those shoulders. Oh, it's gonna break the two. And naturally, we're like, of course, she's got to do something.
Okay,
she's like, City, falling rock of fire. I better do something.
Oh, girl, you always wanted to save the world.
Which is funny because a comet is actually like a falling ball of ice.
Yeah, this is more of an asteroid.
Yeah.
And then she just goes, fuck it, I'm just going to charge right into it. Yeah.
I also love how she flies into it and it explodes like it was a freaking bomb. Like,
yeah.
I don't think that's how science works.
You got to suspend that disbelief, Scott.
I know.
Remember,
this is like Michael Bay Armageddon.
Well, I mean, another thing you got to suspend disbelief is like she has all those markings on her skin, but her T-shirt and skirt are fine.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. It's like that.
Now, this is also a really cool part where Darkseid's like, you fucked up.
Yeah.
No, my precious girl.
My precious girl.
I always love this about Apokoliptians, how they will just turn on each other. It does not matter. It's all about pleasing Darkseid.
Yes. And then, of course, we get the
byline, you'll burn a hole in it.
What? Get the horny Daily Planet guys.
Yeah, I feel like they're all like interns.
That's story.
Of course.
You should be proud.
And then we get these guys.
Tell us, Jimbo. Is she as cute as her picture?
One looks like a miniature Gordon. One looks like a miniature Bruce Wayne or Clark. And then, of course, we get this. Hey!
Okay, now
there's
this part, this is cool. I
Yes.
love this ending of like, it could have been animated better, of course, but it's very,
Jimmy. My cousin's
this
in
feels
town.
like a
Susan
finale.
tells me you two
Yeah.
would hit it off just fine.
Good little
I mean-
theme for smiling right there.
Interesting camera angles, you know,
Yeah,
they're trying something here.
they are.
And the score is gorgeous. I mean, it's
Of
great.
course. Very good. So, yeah, there it is. There is the ending of season 2.
Season 2.
Yeah.
So next time we return to Metropolis, which actually I'm going to go ahead and tell you it won't be for a while.
Really?
Yeah. Well, you got to think this is a season 2 finale, and so we get a nice long run of Batman because those episodes would be new while they're doing reruns of Superman. So you get so for the next stretch, you get reruns of Superman that were getting paired with new episodes of the new Batman adventures.
That makes sense. Yeah, that does make sense. So we're going to be in Gotham City for a little bit, aren't we?
We are going to be for at least, I think, a month. Like,
Nice.
We're just going to be like Batman for a while.
Nothing wrong with that. But what's the episode that we're starting off with in this stretch?
I don't remember it fondly, not going to lie, but it's Love is a Croc.
Oh, God. So we got a Croc episode. Trying to remember. Okay. Did he have a love interest in this one?
Did
Okay, God. Okay, yeah. Okay, I'm with you on this because I kind of remember this episode, and yeah, this might be one of those.
It's gonna be one of those
where
discussions.
we're just kind of like, hey, we got to pour a drink and just kind of tear it apart. Oh yeah, I'm starting to remember this.
You starting to remember this one now?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh no.
What's funny to me is that McFarlane Toys has been releasing like new Batman Adventures era action figures, and they released a 2-pack with these two characters.
Oh man. I think I I'm starting to remember this one. Oh no. This might be one of those where we just
I am definitely gonna have a drink with me next week.
Yes, definitely do that because I'm starting to when you said that, I was like, oh yeah, this is where he had like a love interest, didn't he? And I don't remember it even fondly myself. So
do you remember who the love interest was?
I'm trying to remember who is the love interest.
I didn't mean to.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Oh God. Yeah, this is gonna be a weird one.
Yes, it is.
That's gonna be a fun one to talk about. Oh my God. Yeah, that's gonna be a fun one to talk about. So make sure you guys tune into that one, folks. Next Wednesday at 8:00 Pacific time. And we're gonna have fun with that one because man, we're both just kind of going, oh boy, here we go.
Oh boy, yeah.
Oh boy. But yeah, we'll be headed back to Gotham City next week. And we appreciate you guys sticking with us this whole time. And then, of course, with the season finale of Superman the Animated Series. And, like I said, it was a fun finale. It wasn't supposed to be the actual finale. But hey, as a whole, I can appreciate.
Hey, we got Supergirl out of it. That's a plus.
That's exactly what it is. So make sure you guys hit that like, thumbs up. And of course, Scott, plug away.
Well, of course, you can find me on Twitter X at ScottDC27, on Instagram at McMerlin, and on Vero at Scott McClellan. You can find my podcast, the DC Squadcast, wherever podcasts can be found. We're on Vero, Facebook, and YouTube at squadcastmedia.com. I also want to plug, I just recorded today an upcoming appearance on Chris Balga's World's Finest True Believers. So make sure that you are checking out the podcast feed for the Geek Ultimate Alliance. I will go ahead and I think Chris wouldn't mind, but I'm going to be discussing the new miniseries from Boom Studios, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers: The Return, written by the original Pink Ranger, Amy Jo Johnson.
Nice. I remember hearing about that. That's going to be cool. I'm interested in that. And the fact that she's involved. I love that. But But anyways, guys, we appreciate you. Be back here next week, of course, and smash that like, thumbs up, subscribe, do all that, and we'll see you on the Vodka stream on Friday. We'll talk to you later.